All right, let's introduce our first guest. Burnt Banksy is joining us now. When I first heard of you, Burnt Banksy, you were burning a Banksy, and then later you set yourself on fire, and now I believe you have $25 million that you're going to deploy out into the world.
All of these are correct.
I'm start calling you Uncle Burnt Banksy. I need a loan, man.
Daddy Burnt Banksy, right here at the desk.
Want to laugh? This is the first time we've ever met in person. But Logic, I'm pretty sure you were in the clubhouse room when I sold the Burnt Banksy. That's how long.
Oh no, I definitely was.
We go back.
Yeah.
It is absolutely
it's good
crazy.
to see you
dude, you
IRL.
too.
Yeah, man.
Well,
awesome.
let's take our audience back to that back to that time, right? And maybe through Logic's eyes. This guy was burning a Banksy out of nowhere. It was 2021.
Yeah.
Things were crazy. NFTs were selling for $69 million, and this guy's burning a Banksy. Logic, take it away.
It was a time for like a lot of innovation, and I think this also goes into XION because you were like ahead of like with the culture implementation into Web3 versus just like we're nerds, we love this stuff, right? But you understood like the level of what it could do, burning a Banksy and transferring that value into a blockchain. First, I have to ask you, since you're doxxed, because you weren't doxxed before,
I wasn't.
What is your Govy?
My Govy is Anthony Anzalone.
Okay, Anthony Anzalone.
I didn't bring you a gift. If that could be the gift if you want.
Well, you're now number two. You got to bring a gift.
Question for you. So, like, it was so early in the game. So many people were experimenting. Yeah. What was that trigger that inspired you to burn the Banksy and understand what it was going to do to the space? Because it really, I think, was a transformative experience. I think it opened up a lot for many people.
Yeah, and it's funny because it was before the $69 million piece. It was for most of 2021. It was the highest average price sale on OpenSea, and I'll be really honest. I had no idea this would happen. Like I would have no idea we'd be sitting here talking about this. But you know, it was me and a couple of friends who worked from Injective, another crypto, just a bunch of nerds, right? And we love Banksy, and the piece was chosen extremely deliberately. And honestly, we did it because it was fun. Like, we wanted to start the conversation, and I had been collecting, like, crypto kitties and some punks, but nothing is what it was now. But yeah, well, like, at the time when some punks was like, what is this?
Yeah, for sure.
And, you know, and so we did this, and I remember, I think at the time, the highest sale of NFT was probably, like, a Z horse for like $100,000. It was nothing. It was so not what it was. And we just thought it would be this interesting idea and spark the conversation of, you know, well, if it's physical and there's value and digital there's no value, let's try to figure out the most kind of flashy way in a way to spark that conversation. And so we bought the Banksy painting for about $90,000, sold it as an NFT for $400,000, and I mean the rest is history, really.
You essentially transfer the value from a physical piece to a digital piece, and even furthermore, like ingrained the conviction behind Web3.
Yeah,
what that was beautiful to watch. It was beautiful to watch.
I remember when we were in our clubhouse room, I'm getting screamed at by and the reason I was anonymous for so long is how many people were so mad at me.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, Anthony. Well, you were anonymous for a really long time, and now you're not. Is it to bring more, I guess, to legitimize the project, to bring more credibility to what you're building?
Yeah, I think that, especially in the beginning, first of all, I did it because I did it because I was a little scared. And then a lot of it was because I wanted to put focus on the project, not necessarily myself as a person. And I still kind of try to do that. But I think there is always going to be some element of trust where, you know, if we're working with a bunch of projects and people want to work with us, there is this element of like knowing your face, being able to see you in person, you know, and establishing legitimacy and establishing a track record, you know, that really we want to move into like this next era of Web 2. And it's really, really hard where people are like, even checking in today, they're like, can I see your ID? And I'm like, I have my Twitter to show you that I'm Burnt Banksy.
Same. I'm Logic. I'm like, do you have any identity for Logic? I was like,
here's my Twitter.
Now I feel like I need a pseudonym.
Definitely do.
I don't know what it would be.
It's exhausting. I'll be honest. Especially being as anonymous as I was, it was so exhausting.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a surprise to see you. I think like when you did when you burned the Banksy, which was in true Banksy fashion, which I was like, if he's seen this, he's definitely giving you a wink for that. It had a cultural resonance, and I think you were really taking into account the Web 2 and Web 3. I think I was saying that earlier about the spectrum, and it looks like that's what you're doing with XION. So you want to give us a little insight on what why Zion?
Yeah, exactly. Why Zion is we want to make crypto completely disappear. You know, there's an entire world out there that has no idea anything about crypto. They don't know the benefits. They just see the Sam Bankman-Frieds and the Do Kwons of the world. But, and, you know, obviously we sit here and we understand the value and we've been building this for many, many years. But I believe, you know, even with the Banksy, right, it's you need catalyst events to transcend into that next tranche or that next cohort. And I think for us, we've seen, especially in this last 7 years that I've been building in this industry, that it's no longer acceptable to say, learn everything, don't click on the wrong link so you lose all your money, but more this fact of we need to come to you, right? We need to show you the benefits. You can't just simply believe it anymore because you need to verify, not trust. And we need to have that both ways.
What makes Zion different, though? I mean, we've heard a lot of layer 1s, layer 2s, now layer 3s saying the same thing.
Yeah.
We want to bring this experience to users. We want it to be consumer-facing, want it to be easy. The user experience is going to be different. What's different about Zion?
Yeah, I mean, first of all is the collaborative nature of it. We just announced chain abstraction with AVAX, BNB, Saga, Injective, and we have a lot more coming. And I think first and foremost, we want it to be collaborative. And we kind of want to sit on top of a lot of other blockchains that act as this abstraction layer, right? Where we say, number one, it shouldn't matter what blockchain you're on, which is like the narrative of chain abstraction, but it shouldn't really matter that you're interacting with blockchain at all. Like when I order, a hamburger from Postmates or something, I don't care if it's on MongoDB or it doesn't matter. I just want my hamburger. That's it, right? And I think as we start to see the modularity narrative kind of come to fruition, more and more L1s are going to continuously come up. And so I don't like this tribalism mentality of a winner's going to take all. It's like, and I think Zion needs to be in this position where everyone needs to win, but at the same time, because we are really all fighting for the same people, right? And it's just to continuously expand what we're doing to everyone. And, I know you know it best, especially dealing in that intersection of culture. It's really, really hard when the only culture you have is that of crypto.
Yeah, for sure.
I have a question for you, Logic. I mean, you come from big brand side, Leo Burnett, Google. For these companies, when they're looking at innovation, they're looking at diversifying, trying new things out, what are they looking for? What are they evaluating when they're looking at a Zion versus another project if they want to implement the tech into what they're doing?
Easy. They want the idea to be big but simple. So if you can't explain it within like a 30-second sale, you got the elevator pitch, they get scared. And it really takes the person that's in a position of power to really take that leap. So, and they say the team, the execution is only as good as the team, which is why you had some really, really great executions. And then you had some really terrible ones that were just kind of like cash grabs or whatever, because the team didn't really understand the foundation of what blockchain was offering, which is why a lot of brands were getting that cash grab mentality. They were extracting value versus putting value. But it's really like, it takes stuff like Zion, which is the agency won't even see something like Zion. It'll be another agency building on top of Zion that creates the UI needs to be beautiful, the UX needs to be beautiful, and Zion is going to help agencies implement those type of functions for brands to use it so that they don't just extract versus add value.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, from your perspective, what are the conversations like? You mentioned some other Web3 partners. What are your conversations like with more traditional firms?
Absolutely, and it's so funny that you actually say that because we have a really exciting project launching tomorrow called EarnOS. Really, really excited for this, and this is exactly what we're kind of talking about right now, which is taking the concept of like, if anyone knows like Galaxy or Azalea, any of these Quest platforms, working with an agency who then represents like a BMW or an Uber or something like that, and saying, middleman of a middleman, of saying, hey, we actually can just completely directly market to people, right? You watch a video, you sign up for a newsletter, and we just give them 5 USDC, right? And so we actually have that launching tomorrow. Really, really excited for that, but it's so funny.
Big.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, I'm actually very excited for it. But the thing that's interesting is because we always saw the polygons, right, which is the brand to chain of like a Starbucks or a Reddit. And it's so solutionist, and I think it's so indicative of like the genuine problem of this industry where you say, hey, brand, take crypto, and you try to mash that together, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Can I ask you both what you thought about Starbucks pulling out of their NFT project? Because I had thoughts about it.
Talking about the Odyssey thing?
Yeah, the Odyssey thing. They canceled the Odyssey project. That was on Polygon. I feel like Starbucks didn't give it a fair shot.
Yeah, a lot of brands have been pulled out very early, and I want to get your, because with XION, you can use email to get right into the crypto thing,
Yep.
which is when you ask about big brands, they don't really want to change the behavior of their consumers. They just want to do a loyalty program, get the points, and it's all on chain, and they get rewarded automatically without all of the bells and whistles on the top or whatever. But yeah,
and I mean, especially you have companies now who have loyalty platforms. Like it's not a new invention. Amex, has a points meta, right? And I think being able to take that step back of saying, well, actually, crypto can completely amplify that and change the game in a composable way with a bunch of other brands. People are just seeing this and saying, they're looking at the money, they're looking at the dollar signs, right? It is like unintentionally a cash grab because the intentionality isn't where it should be. Where I think where it needs to be solved is like, we shouldn't be working directly with brands. We need to give projects who have a problem that they're solving the tools that they need to not only like reach the brands, but be able to reach the users of these brands, as you were talking like with email, where I don't want to download a wallet. I don't want to go to Coinbase and do the KYC and buy the token and then have to learn about all
and
this.
now get a coffee.
And then I clicked on the wrong link and I lost it all. There it is.
The most expensive cappuccino of all
exactly.
time.
And then like by the time you've done all this, the $5 coffee is now $15.
Yeah.
And then you go to pay and it's now $0. And you're like,
What's happening? Everyone's just getting wrecked. Okay, Burnt Banksy, we got to go. We got to take a break and take a look at the stage. It was such a pleasure having you.